In this video, we're going to look at extracts from 2 example student responses to Component 2, Question 2 for Eduqas English Language. Remember, you can pause the video at any point if you need time to take notes or read over what's on screen. This question is based on a Guardian article about the historical context of the film The Greatest Showman and asks, how does Steve Rose show P.T. Barnum to be an unlikable person? It's worth 10 marks. Let's start by looking at an extract from student A's response to this question. Press pause now to give yourself time to read it through carefully, and press play again when you're ready. So, what has this student done well? Clearly, they maintain focus on the question as they use the keywords P.T. Barnum is an unlikable person. It would be nice to see a little variety in their opening sentences, though. For example, they could start their sentences with a range of connectives, such as furthermore, in addition, and later. But focusing on the points they've made, let's begin with the first one. Here, they don't explain why or how the evidence shows Barnum to be an unlikable person, and so they don't appear to be focused on the question. They explain why he might have exhibited these different types of people and animals on stage, but that isn't what the question was asking. Their next 2 points are accurate, though. They explain exactly how their evidence proves he's an unlikable person. This student needed to continue structuring their response in this way. Unfortunately, they don't, though, as in their final point they make a good statement that he lies, but don't support it with evidence from the text. Adding evidence from the text here, such as the quote, fake ones in costumes, would demonstrate that Barnum lies to con people and would directly relate to the question of what makes him unlikable. Overall, this response would be sitting at the top of a band 1 or bottom of a band 2 as it currently stands. Remember though, this is just an extract. For a 10-mark question, you should aim to make 8 or 9 different points supported by different evidence. Now let's have a look at an extract from student B's response and see how it differs. Press pause now to give yourself time to read it through carefully and press play again when you're ready. From the outset, we can see this candidate is working at a higher level. They give the examiner an overview which shows a clear understanding of the extract. An overview is essentially where you take a step back from the extract, considering the main way a writer has achieved something. If you're too specific here, it's likely you're going to take a point from later on in your response. Imagine an overview as a completed jigsaw puzzle. You can see everything as a combination, a whole, rather than the individual isolated pieces. After the overview, student B makes their way through the source chronologically, identifying points to support the idea that P.T. Barnum was an unlikable person. Because they structure their response in this way, it's easy for the examiner to track through their answer, particularly as they use connectives too. Also, it's evident that this student has a clear understanding of the mark scheme, as they only use subject terminology where appropriate. The metaphor, not to airbrush history. They recognise it's the metaphor that has the intended effect, and so draw the examiner's attention to this. Their slight amendments to quotations, such as exploited circus freaks, to make them embedded into their writing is effortless. Finally, as we know, there needs to be a range of accurate and well-explained points, which this student clearly recognises. This is just an extract from a longer response, but from what you could see, this student would be sitting in a band 3. If student B continued their answer in this way and made 4 or 5 more points, they'd receive top band marks. Okay, let's leave it there. It's a good idea to get some practice in before the exam, so why not write a bullet point list of what student B has done well, and then continue writing their response. Good luck!